What's going on, everyone? Back with another episode of Stuff and Things. Mike and I are out here doing just a single night camp trip. I've had this location and this trail pinned on Onyx Off-Road for a while, and now we finally got the chance to check it out. I've been missing out. Check out these views. Damn, son.
Instagram camp spot.
Yeah. Now, before we get too far into this video, I want to start something new here on the channel. I want to give back to you guys. So this video gets 2,500 likes, 2,500 likes. I'm going to randomly select a commenter and hook you up with a $100 gift card to the Side Production store, where you can pick up hats, rain jackets, hoodies, new products that we're going to be releasing soon, water bottles, all sorts of good stuff like that. So hopefully this will sort of get back to you guys for liking and commenting on these videos. There may be some spam accounts that will hop on this trend, but don't fall for that. I will be the one that actually comments to you, and I'll try to get a hold of you. Now today, Mike brought out the Dadmobile.
Sick minivan.
Mike has finally announced that he is going to be a father soon.
Be a father. Little boy on the way.
Congrats, dude.
Thanks, man.
I've known for a little while, and it's been really hard to keep it a secret, but he made the announcement, so give a congrats to Mike in the comments down below. He brought out the Sequoia, which, like Mike said, has probably never been on a trail in its life. And he's done some work to it, a little bit of suspension, a little bit of wheels, tires, massive Prinsu rack. That is probably the largest Prinsu rack that I've ever seen, honestly.
It's a big one.
I'll leave a link for Mike's walk around video that he just did of his first gen Sequoia up in the card and down in the description below. Because today I figured, since we're just coming out here camping and cooking, we would sort of do a side-by-side comparison of rooftop tent versus just like straight up car camping. You guys know my truck through and through. We'll do a little bit of a rundown of that, but then also we'll check out how it is to camp just out of a car. A lot of people think overlanding, you need a fancy truck with a bunch of modifications and stuff like that. You really don't. You could technically go overlanding in like a Honda Civic if you wanted to. The hardcore overland people out there are going to disagree with that, but essentially it's all about the journey and the places that you go, not so much about the vehicle you drive and the gear you have. So as long as you're getting outside, it's cool in my book. Got the truck packed today. So here's a look at my typical setup. You guys have seen this like in the last video. Still running this prototype tent from FSR. I've been getting a lot of questions in person about this tent at Overland Expo and an event that Mike and I went to over the weekend. I just talked to FSR today, and it sounds like this thing will go into production. I was unsure if it would actually come to fruition or not, but it looks like in a couple of months, some iteration of this tent with my thoughts from like the initial review video going into it, sounds like that is going to actually happen. So I'm stoked on that. Now, I've been telling everyone who asked me in person, and sort of like I mentioned on the video, this tent is definitely not perfect. Like, it's a good, okay tent, but there are some major improvements that could be made that would make this like my all-time go-to tent, because I'm really digging it, but it needs a little bit of tweaking. Now tonight, since we're kind of parked up here like way on top of this ridge, looks like west is over this way, so we're gonna have winds coming in from there. This is probably gonna be one of the windier places that I have slept in this specific tent in. So I'm gonna put these bars in place just to give this thing a little bit of extra rigidity. There you have it. Setup can take like 30 seconds. Just depends on how much you want to set the tent up. So you guys know my setup pretty well now. Let's check out Mike's car camp setup. Kind of on a budget. I mean, your whole idea of this car is to kind of keep it like budget, right?
Yeah, like budget, more budget friendly. Most of my other vehicles are pretty crazy. So, you want a quick rundown?
Yeah, let's see the inside. I think that's the most important thing.
The cool thing about the Sequoia is, so there's 3 rows of seats here. But with the second row, the middle row folded up, it's actually like 75 inches. So you don't even need to remove the second seat to get a whole sleep in here.
Yeah, you got this like 5 inch
four
topper,
inch
4 inch
dual
topper.
density memory foam Tempur-Pedic numbers. No, but it is one of these little tri-fold mattresses that is, I mean, it's super comfy.
Yeah, it feels it. I need to get one of those inside my tent.
Yeah, so if you took this seat out, and they come out in like 5 seconds, you could put basically 2 people. Maybe you could squeeze 3 people in here, and that's it. That's all you need, man.
And if you were really going for like camp setup, I mean, we're kind of traveling light. Like I brought the cooking stuff for this trip, but you could pop this out, throw a Dometic in here, clothing, camp, like other gear.
Yeah, there's a ton of room in this thing. So Sequoia, this is a first gen Sequoia 2007. It's not as big as the second gen or the upcoming gen, I don't believe either, but tons of room. I mean, even behind the third row, this actually slides forward even too, so you could get like more room back here.
You wouldn't even need to take that out. You got cup holders while you're sleeping, throw your water bottle.
Yeah.
Big old storage cubbies.
Yeah, storage cubbies galore. Yeah, it's sweet. So if you have a big family, this will fit a lot of people, or if you don't have a big family, tons of room inside for gear.
So that just kind of goes to show that you don't need like a bunch of fancy stuff to get out and camp. You could do this in basically any SUV. Getting up to places like this is going to be kind of dependent on like your suspension and 4-wheel drive system, but things like the Sequoia, most 4-wheel drive Toyotas are pretty damn capable. So basically a stock vehicle could probably make it up here, just wouldn't be super comfortable. All right, so about 5 minutes later, and I've set up just about every single thing that I've had in the bed of my truck underneath my Diamondback. One of the reasons I like the Diamondback so much is because I can lock stuff in there and just kind of keep it in the truck all the time. This is really like my dedicated adventure rig. So is the van. I don't have a daily driver yet, but I can keep all of my like camping essentials in here, and this right now is completely overkill. Mike knew that I had my truck completely loaded up, so he didn't bring like cooking stuff, so I just had everything with me. I think I might do a dedicated video on all of this stuff just to kind of show you guys like what I keep under my Diamondback cover. If you want to see a video of that, let me know. It's constantly changing and evolving depending on what I'm doing. But here I've got a little table from Dometic. I got some Foldy Boy front runner chairs, a bunch of Roam boxes. I've gotten some questions about this. You guys want to see what I actually keep in the 105 liter. I absolutely love this one. It's my favorite. I've got my lantern, cookware. This one you guys haven't seen yet. This is a Roam like drink cooler. So it's got a little spout down here. Right now, I'm currently using it as a cooler. So a little bit of ice water coming out of there. I didn't feel like bringing my fridge just because we're only coming out for the night. So you guys will see what's in there in a little bit when we start cooking. Under here, I also have the long slim case from Roam. That is full of recovery gear, so a bunch of the Deadman off-road stuff that I showed you guys in a recent video. I'll do a full dedicated video on my recovery gear here at some point. And then on the tailgate, I've got the Step 22 Chameleon, which I have set up for cooking. I just popped that from my truck, camping stuff into the Kimbo. I have my Gas One stove from the Kimbo as well. Just picked up this new pan. I'm kind of tired of cooking with cast iron when we're camping just because it's so hard to clean if you don't clean it right away. So this is a little foldy pan coming from GSI Outdoors. Got some cooking stuff for later. And then this little guy right here. This was a birthday gift from my good friend Jake. This is called a Rig Caddy, and it's just like a magnetic storage compartment that you can kind of stick anywhere. So I've got a little cup holder on the side over here, and then I could also put like cooking utensils and everything else in there. It'll stick to the bedside of my truck. It works well right here too. I believe it'll hold up to like 20 pounds. There's a ton of magnets. So right now I just have it stuck with the 4 magnets across my C4 swing out. And then there you can see there's 4 more magnets, which will really stick this thing to the side of your truck. You hungry yet? All right, dinner's underway. Got 2 little steaks because we always get giant steaks and end up getting really full and never finishing them. So steaks, potatoes, got some shrimp skewers over here, seasoned with little Tonys. I also have some green beans, which I'm gonna throw on with the shrimp skewers. I'm so happy I ditched the cast iron. Like, cast iron's great, love cooking with them, but when it comes to camping, like, these potatoes would be completely stuck to here already. And on this little thing, they're not. Your cast iron's not seasoned right. Lodge says you don't have to season them, which is probably a lie, but whatevs. It's just heavy. Like, this thing weighs next to nothing. It folds up so the handle flips in. I don't know, it's nice. I'll leave a link for that in the description down below. Let's get these suckers going. And dinner is served. I think I'm pretty proud of this one, especially with these views. Let's dig in. And we're back. Dinner was great. Mike ran off to poop, so I climbed up this rock field here. Views up here are absolutely insane. I've got my Add-A-Ball illumination light, which I just did a video on, so I'll show you what the AI1 head looks like when you're at a campsite like this. I currently have my camera in auto mode, so it looks a little bit brighter than it actually is out here right now. But here is what the light looks like. We are camping down here. Mike is back in his car, and this beam just goes forever. Right down here is a little lake. It almost goes clear across this valley here. This thing is absolutely insane. Shine all the way up to the peak over here. We're currently at about 11,700 feet, so the air is pretty thin. And then I believe this peak behind us is probably close to like 12.5. These bigger peaks over here are like 13.2-ish. Not quite 14,000 feet, but look at that beam. Now I switched back to what I consider my normal head, the AI2. Floods a little bit more, as you can tell, but still throws light pretty dang far. So the people want to know, high altitude pooping, is it harder because there's less atmospheric pressure?
I think there's more pressure. Like if you take a bag of chips up to high altitude, it gets really tight and could pop. So maybe it helps push the poop out?
Maybe, yeah. I guess we inflate. Yeah, I guess I got that backwards.
I think so anyway. I just think of potato chips anyway. Really, the thing that matters more than atmospheric pressure is angle, really. We've talked about this in previous videos, but you get this squat down, and it's very much like a squatty potty, and it just soft serves right out of your body.
Thank you for that visualization. That's actually a pretty scenic view right there. Pooping with that view.
Oh, it ain't bad.
The mood lighting. I should also give a shout out to Rumple. Some of you guys may have seen the Rumple blanket that I use quite a lot when I'm in my van. I had a poncho like I'm wearing right now, and I accidentally burned it, sort of like with a light like this. I was doing some light painting photography, and instead of turning the light off, I just like held it up against my chest and melted it. So they were nice enough to send me a care package. I got an all new Rumple Poncho. It's looking pretty good. You can see a photo of it over on my Instagram. I also got a new blanket and some koozies and stuff like that. So, Rumple, thank you. This is all waterproof and everything, so if it rains, I'm double protected right now.
It's nice.
Feels good. It's got fleece lined pockets and everything. So Mike and I are going to sit here, talk shop like we always do, talk about aliens and stuff like that. I'll check in again before we go to sleep.
Bedtime.
Good night. Enjoy the security of the Sequoia.
I will. Good luck with the bears.
Yeah, I'm going to sleep in my tent. I think I'm going to leave the windows open. It is pretty insane out here. I wish you guys could actually see these stars. Mike and I were trying to take some like astro photos, but we both kind of came to the conclusion that if it's not like pro level, we'll probably never post it. Maybe I'll throw one in like right here. So that's what one of them looked like, but probably won't post any of that on Instagram. Photos don't work on Instagram anymore anyway, so it's about 11 o'clock at night. We're gonna call it, and this is my sleep setup. Ugh. So, same as it's been in the last video that you guys saw me camping. Target blanket, hover quilt, pillow. Also got my big anchor in here. Did a video on 2 of these anchor power bank system things a little while ago. I've been traveling around with the bigger one, the 500 one. Ideally, I would like to have the 1000 watt version, but this one gets me by. It has a built-in integrated light, which is nice. So technically, don't really need to have this lantern on anymore. Going to sleep with my east and south facing windows open. Where we're at right now, the wind typically is coming in from the west, so the west and the north side are closed up. The moon will be out at about midnight tonight, so an hour from now. And it's going to be coming up from the east side, so going to be a ton of moonlight here filling up this whole valley. It's going to be pretty neat, but hopefully I'll be asleep before then. I will check in with you guys with a beautiful view in the morning. Good morning, everyone. I think it's like 8 o'clock in the morning. I slept pretty good. It did get a little bit windy last night, and this tent did fine because I kept the west side window closed, and of course wind coming from that whole direction just kind of bounced off the tent. Occasionally we would get a gust up from the front, but because I had both bug screens wide open, it would just kind of blow through the tent. Woke me up a few times, but not too bad. So tent camping was as usual. How was car camping?
It was nice. Yeah.
I'm super jealous of this pad still.
I kind of heard some wind, but unaffected in here.
It wasn't too bad in the tent, but yeah, you probably didn't feel anything in here.
Oh, nothing. Yeah, I kind of heard like the wind gust a couple times, but it was great.
Now, Mike and I both have some stuff to take care of today, but while we're up here, this trail sort of dead ends right over here, and I actually drove out that way yesterday before we came to this spot. So I think we're gonna go explore around. There's a really cool looking trail on the other side of this mountain that I would like to get to eventually, but can't enter from this side. So we're gonna have to go all the way around to get up to the peaks over there. I don't think this view would ever get old. pavement, and now we are both headed home. So we're gonna part ways up here in a second. Just a quick reminder from the beginning of the video, if we get 2,500 likes on this video, I'm gonna pick a random commenter and hook you up with a $100 gift card to the Side Production store. Get some of your outdoor adventure culture gear. Mike has some videos to post before he posts his version of this. I'm behind on videos, so I'm just gonna post this very close to today when we're actually still filming this. So go subscribe to Mike, check out his channel, because the video from him in his Sequoia, it will probably be up on his channel in the next like week or so. I'm signing off on the video, so say bye to everyone.
Goodbye, everyone. Don't forget to like and subscribe.
That's it, you heard him. Like, subscribe. If you're new to the channel, consider clicking subscribe. Make new videos every week. As always, thanks for watching. I'll talk to you in the next one.